This film is based on the 2003 film The Smile of Mona Lisa, which is often referred to as the female version of the Deathly Hallows. It focuses on the top female college in the United States. In the 1950s, the University of Wales. It is a conservative era in which the value of a woman is only tied to marriage and family. The film explores the intense clash between tradition and modernity, and the pursuit of personal pursuits and social expectations through the perspective of an avant-garde art history. Teacher, Catherine. The film not only has Julia Roberts' affectionate performance, but also gathers a new generation of women such as Kirsten, Dunst, Julia, and Stiles. They paint a picture of that era together, where women are in the midst of awakening and confusion, looking for their own moving images. In the autumn of 1953, a woman named Catherine took a train to the east. She came from California and was an art history teacher. She had dreamed of becoming a teacher at the country's most conservative and most prestigious University of Wales. When there was a vacancy in the art history department, she seized the opportunity without hesitation, and used her outstanding talent to make up for her ordinary birth. She was hired successfully. But Catherine did not come here to learn the art history and integrate into the tradition. She was full of passion and yearned to make a change here. At the opening ceremony, the principal asked with a solemn voice, "Who is knocking on the door of the school?" Catherine and all the teachers responded together, "It is each and every one of us. What do you seek to awaken?" "Through hard work, I awaken my soul and dedicate my life to knowledge." This sacred statement made Catherine's heart flutter. However, she soon felt the pressure of this centennial school. She was arranged to live with a few other female teachers, and she reluctantly and enthusiastically introduced the dormitory to her. But then came a series of strict regulations. No nails on the wall, no pets, no radio at 8 p.m. And even no hot pot for hot meals and no male visitors. Catherine complained, jokingly, that she may not be able to leave the hot pot for a year. Her roommate, Nancy, taught speech and etiquette, and was deeply convinced of the school's tradition. She even put labels on everyone's refrigerator and emphasized that what was on it was sacred and inviolable. This made Catherine, who adored freedom, feel a little suffocated. Another roommate, Amanda, reminded her that the girls here could feel fear, and reminded her to be careful. With anticipation for the first class, Catherine began the class according to the previous teacher's teaching style. She showed a picture of the cave before history, and tried to guide the students to think, but the students' reactions were beyond her expectations. A poor student could not only accurately describe the beginning and end of the painting, but also analyze its complex painting techniques. Catherine changed a lampshade, and before she could introduce it, another student, called Betty, already knew the beginning and end of the painting and its artistic characteristics. Next, no matter what artwork she showed, the students could immediately say all the background knowledge, as if they were the teachers. The lampshade was quickly turned over one by one. With the students' fluent reciters, Catherine completely lost control of the class. The scene was once very embarrassing. She couldn't help asking, how many people have already finished the entire textbook? As a result, all the classmates raised their hands. Betty even asked, if the teachers had nothing else to do, they wanted to go to self-study. Catherine could only agree helplessly. After class, she was immediately called by the president of the board of directors to talk. The other party criticized her first class without mercy, which was so inappropriate. The president also turned over her doctoral thesis, and questioned her opinion of comparing Picasso and Michelangelo. She mocked, could those modern paintings with low pigment on the canvas be as interesting as Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel murals? When she learned that Catherine had never been to Europe and had seen the Sistine Chapel with her own eyes, her silence was more than words. She warned Catherine that she should follow the rules in the next class. Catherine, who was hit hard, called her boyfriend Paolo, who was far away in California. Paolo, on the other end of the line, didn't seem to understand her situation. He just asked. Lightly, it's just some eyesight, which made Catherine even more aggrieved. At this point, Amanda, the schoolmaster, walked over. She saw Catherine's desperation, warmly invited her to come in and sit down, and shared her former love story with her. Amanda's boyfriend came to the battlefield, and the two relied on daily communication to maintain their relationship. Her roommate Nancy also walked over. She and Amanda were obviously very close, and the couple quickly got to know each other. Catherine thought everything was fine here, but Amanda pointed out, don't be confused by appearances. Those people in the upper class are all hiding their tricks. She warned Catherine that whether they were schoolmates, their descendants, or school teachers, they were all wary of overly independent people. Amanda also advised her not to let those girls know that they had hurt you wrongly. Catherine said no, but Amanda could tell how fragile she was inside. Catherine, who had learned her lesson, decided to change her teaching strategy. The next day, she brought a picture of a cow on a teaching platform and a picture of a cow on a teaching platform. She told the students that there was no standard answer, and no textbook would tell them what to think. This immediately aroused Betty's resentment. She said, "This painting is not art at all. It's ridiculous." Another open-minded student, Giselle, thought the painting was full of aggression and love. Betty insisted that art must have standards, otherwise a vulgar painting could be compared to Le Brun. She asked Catherine, if even rotten meat could be called art, what else could they learn? Catherine seized the opportunity to announce Betty's question. What is art? What determines whether it is good or bad? Who decides? It would be the new teaching platform. Then she showed a picture of a child's painting. It was a birthday gift she drew for her mother as a child. She also showed a picture of her mother. She asked the students, if this picture was taken by the famous photographer Ansel Adams, would it be considered art? Betty emphasized again that art needs to be defined by the right people, and Catherine cleverly threw the question back to her, making her speechless. Catherine encouraged the girls to go beyond the painting itself, trying to accept new things with an open mind. Catherine's unique teaching style became the talk of the class. Some people admired her unique ability, but Betty was fed up with it, claiming that she was an old girl who couldn't get married. Giselle made up a strange story, saying that Catherine had a romantic relationship with Hollywood star William Horton, and that she had a romantic affair with him. William Horton was trying to avoid love. Betty believed that the reason why a woman like Catherine was single was not voluntary, but that no man was willing to marry her. In the dormitory, Giselle took a contraceptive pill which was illegal at the time. She called her the best friend of the girl, and mocked Betty, who was about to get married, as the last virgin bride. Betty said that her fiancé, Fuspince, was a gentleman, but Giselle was a newbie. The gentleman also had desires. Another student, Connie, thought innocently, and made a joke about it, but everyone laughed at it. Betty thought that Giselle's remarks were too much, but Giselle said that she was just telling the truth, and that she was a cousin of Betty. This story spread very quickly. Betty used her influence in the school newspaper to publish a harsh essay, openly accusing the school doctor, Amanda, of distributing contraceptive tools to students. The article described Amanda as an encouraging cheerleader. As Betty's mother was the president of the Alumni Association, and was in power, the school was under great pressure. The principal talked to Amanda and asked her to stop this behavior. The Alumni Association even forced her to make a public statement and promise not to provide contraceptive products. Amanda refused to compromise. In the end, she was ruthlessly dismissed by the school. Everything in the school seemed to be training a perfect wife. Even in the Italki class, the teacher was teaching the girls how to deal with emergencies. For example, when you prepared a dinner to invite your boss's wife, but at the last minute, you were told that your husband's competitor's wife was coming, how should you deal with it? The teacher emphasized that the boss was probably testing his wife like he was testing his husband. A few years later, taking care of the husband and child would be their only responsibility. The Evaluation given by the husband would be the most important result. Giselle was shocked again, saying that she shouldn't put her boss's wife next to her husband. Because she might be having an affair with her husband. Kathleen felt ridiculous about all this. She met Bill, an Italian professor, at a bar. They had a good talk. Kathleen complained that the school was full of various labels, the right family, the right school, the right art, and even the right thought. Bill was in despair. This mode saved people from the trouble of thinking independently, but it also made her confused. If everything was a joke, how could she make a change? Bill teased her, saying that she wanted to free everyone's savior. But in the end, she gave a suggestion. There is a set of rules here. You have to learn to adapt. It's the same for everyone. Amanda also said goodbye to Kathleen before she left. She said, there are committees everywhere to protect everything. People think she's dangerous. She's a subversive. She said, after her gay partner Joseph died, there was nothing left for her to worry about. Betty only got a C for plagiarism. She came to Kathleen to argue. Kathleen told her that she was doing her homework because she wanted to hear her own opinion, not the opinion of an expert. She gave Betty a chance to rewrite it. Kathleen looked through Betty's file.